of uh, things that I've learned on this journey into what I call wealth, a journey into wealth. And for anyone that wants to join me or start to learn how to become what I call a rich social worker, the first thing you need to understand is that it is a journey and that it's not something that it's not a quick fix. It's not something that you do overnight. And, I grew up in the era of my parents, really heavy into Amway. And I say that I'm allergic to multi-level marketing. And the truth is, I guess I'm not so much allergic to multi-level marketing, but I'm much more invested in making sure that you're doing something that you love. And I think for social workers, a lot of us are in social work because we love it. We love to help people. We love to see growth. We love the growth that it brings about in ourselves. And if we could make money from it, that would be even better. Not making any money is the number one complaint of social workers in the world. So I thought, you know what? We're social workers. There's got to be a way for us to be able to make a difference and a living. And I'm going to figure it out. But it's a journey. Like I said, it's not multi level marketing, it's not some quick fix. It is a personal journey into what you love the most, doing what you love the most, but finding out how to do it in such a way that it also satisfies your personal needs. And that makes you a better helper. Now, I'm sure you've had times where you wanted to help clients or help a cause, but because of lack of resources, because of lack of funds, you weren't able to, or you were only able to do so much and no more. So today, like I said, we're going to look at some frequently asked questions. And if you have any questions that you'd like answered as well, feel free to email me, Eva, EVA, at eva4.com. And that's Ford, Forde.com, or you can send me a Facebook message, or you can write a comment or a question here in Google Hangouts Live. All right, so let's look at the first question that people ask me quite a lot, or that comes up. People want to know, okay, people want to know, do rich social workers really exist? And the truth is, when I considered this myself, I wanted to know because I didn't know any. I thought, I can imagine, there are multiple possibilities in life of all kinds of things that I don't even know about. So possibly there are social workers who are rich, who are really rich, and just don't know about it. And I had the privilege of speaking to the director and the creator of Social Work PRN. Now, if you've never heard of Social Work PRN, it is a wonderful organization that actually franchises out. But what Social Work PRN is, it's a temporary agency for social workers. I first heard about it when I was attending school at Columbia University, and when I was in Jamaica, starting to consider how I could make some extra money and still be a social worker and still do what I love, I looked up Social Work PRN. And I had a chance to talk to the creator of Social Work PRN before she passed away. And she was so generous, and she was telling me, that she was able to take every single member of Social Work PRN in, I mean, we're talking, I think she was saying like 250 or 300 or 400 people. She took on vacation. All the social work PRN staff, she took them on vacation for several days, maybe even a week, to different places. One went to Arizona, I think another one might have gone to Bermuda or the Bahamas or some tropical island. But she said, that was going to be her promise, or that was her promise to the staff. If Social Work PRN was able to break, I don't know how many millions, maybe it was a million or 2 or 3 million in profits, that she would do that for everyone. And she did it. And I was so inspired by this woman. I said, you know what? There's got to be other rich social workers, other people who are social workers, but who are actually making money. I mean, to be able to celebrate others and to reward other social workers for doing what they love, working as social workers. when other organizations and companies needed them. I thought that was just tremendous. Believe it or not, another social worker is his name. What is Oprah's man's name? Oh my goodness, his name just escaped me. Oh, Stedman Graham. I'm so sorry about that. Stedman Graham. He's a trained social worker. He has his bachelor's in social work and he has a master's in education. And what he's been able to do with those two combined is he has developed programs, leadership programs for young people, especially young boys and young men, to help them become or realize their full potential. And he says the reason why he was so interested in that is because as a young child or a young man himself, he thought that the only thing he could do was basketball. He was tall and evidently he was good at it in sports. And he thought that was the only thing that he could do to get out of poverty and to get out of the situation that he found himself in. And he always wanted to make sure that he was someone that was an example to others and that he was able to provide leadership opportunities and growth and personal development opportunities for others. Now, believe it or not, a lot of people think that Stedman is rich because of Oprah. But I always ask the question, do you think Oprah would date a broke man? No. Stedman he was already an established and very successful businessman before he met Oprah. Now, granted, he has credited Oprah with helping him to, become more of the man he is. But hey, what good woman doesn't do that for her man anyway? But Stedman was already wealthy and was already strategic before he met Oprah. So he's also a rich social worker. Um, the rich social worker that most people know, if they're pressed, is Brene Brown. Now, everybody knows Brene Brown. She's written Daring Greatly. She's written The Power of Vulnerability, and she's got her bachelor's, master's, and her PhD in social work. So she is definitely a rich social worker. Now, I went on her website and saw that a speaking engagement for her starts, I think, at like maybe $30,000, something like that. I can't remember. But I did go to the Social Work National Association of Social Workers conference last year, and Brene was the guest speaker. She was the main speaker, and Brene spoke for about an hour, and she left. She came in the day, or maybe it was the night before. She came in, she spoke, and she left immediately after. And for that, she was paid very well, just for a few hours out of her life. I mean, she's doing what she loves. She's talking to social workers. She is a social work researcher herself. She teaches social work, um, and she is paid very handsomely. Now, the last example that I have for you is someone who a lot of people don't really consider her a social worker, but the truth is, her degree is in social work. In fact, her only degree is in social work, and that is Susie Orman. Now, if you know Susie Orman, she's a she gives financial advice. But Susie Orman is self taught when it comes to finance and understanding money. But she is trained as a social worker. And if you look at what Susie has done, she teaches people, she uses her social work skills. She's been able to leverage her social work skills and grow them and help millions and millions of people through her social work skills with knowing more and more about money and managing money. And so, to answer that first question, do rich social workers exist? Yes, they absolutely exist. Another question that I haven't put here is, well, are there others that are more accessible? And again, there are others that are more accessible. On my journey, I have met them, I have seen them, I have touched them, I have talked to them. I met several at that National Association of Social Workers conference in July last year. Several social workers are wealthy, but the thing is, we don't necessarily talk about money, period, unless we're talking about not having it. So those that do have money, I understand, don't talk a lot about having money because it's such an anomaly in our profession, and I don't think that it should be. One of the things that I was really, really impressed by when I went to the conference last year, and by the way I spoke, at the conference last year, and the title of my presentation was, the rich social worker. And my presentation, the house was pretty much packed. Um, so people are really ready to talk about money, to talk about wealth and social work. And that was really heartening to see at a conference like that, when a lot of the sessions about money, fundraising and things like that were very, very sparsely attended. But when the topic was rich social work, we were packed to the brim, and that was on the last day. So I think there's hope for us and hope for our profession. So another question that's asked is, hey, how much money are we talking? When, Eva, is your rich, $50,000, or is it $60,000 a year, or are we talking, over $1 million a year? How much rich are we talking about? And as far as I'm concerned, if we're talking monetarily, we're talking about as much as your little heart desires, as much as you can fathom having for yourself. That's as much as we're talking about. Now, if you really can't fathom having $1 million, and if it's, like a joke for you, or like a nice idea, but something you don't believe could actually ever happen, then that's not what I'm talking about for you. I'm not talking about realistic goals, but I am talking about financial goals that you can believe. So for me, my believable financial goal is $10,000 per month, and that is, not working too hard. That's working, yes, diligently and persistently, but $10,000 working less than 40 hours a week, working, maybe 20 to 25 hours a week. So not to say that I'm lazy per se, but leveraging the time that I have. So if I did work 40 hours a week, then I would expect that number to be doubled. $20,000 a month then. So when I'm talking about rich as a social worker, I'm talking about the amount of money that allows you to have a 6 week long vacation if you want to, and not skip a beat. The amount of money that allows you to, you know, pay for medical appointments and medical visits and prescriptions without feeling guilty, or without having to pull from a budget that would otherwise be compromised. I'm talking about enough money to be able to travel the way you want, to be able to take time off the way you want to be able to vacation the way you want to be able to give the way you want to, which is a big one for me. I'm a giver. And for me, it's really frustrating when I don't have money to be able to give. So, how much money are we talking about? The question really is, how much money can you imagine having? And that's how much money we're talking about. And it's true. I truly believe you can be as wealthy as you want to be. Another question that's frequently asked is, why don't social workers get paid more? Now, this question is something that, if you're a social worker, you may have asked it yourself. It's probably one of the top 5 questions or things on the top of the mind of social workers around the world. And I have a theory about why social workers don't get paid more. And my theory starts with ourselves. My theory starts with, we haven't traditionally required that we get paid more. We collectively, as a profession, have bought into an idea that says this is as much as people will pay us. And so this must be as much as we're worth. Now, of course, we talk about knowing our worth and believing that we're worth more, and we get upset because other people don't know our worth. But the thing that I've learned as the president of the association in Jamaica is that people people will treat you, right, the way that you allow them to treat you. And if collectively we said that no, social workers actually make a lot of money, we're worth quite a lot, our services, our skills are worth, you know, $200 more than you're asking us. If we collectively did that, then guess what? The market would have to pay us $200 more than they're offering us now, or $2,000 more, however much. That the amount of money doesn't matter. What matters is our perception of what we say we're worth and what we charge people. It's the perception and what other people, how other people perceive our worth. So if they don't perceive our worth as being worth paid more money, that's something that we then have to take responsibility for and look at how do we help others understand what it is that we do so that we can get paid for what we do. So the other thing, the other part of my theory is that when social work was becoming a profession, because remember it started out as voluntary, being voluntary. The people that volunteered, the Jane Addams, the Mary Richmonds, and others, the friendly visitors, those were wealthy people. They were wealthy already. They were rich already. They didn't need money at all. That's why they could volunteer, because they had nothing else to do. They didn't have jobs that they had to go to. And luckily, they also felt socially responsible. So they didn't have to worry about money so much. They could go to their rich and wealthy friends and husbands and say, look, we need money for this. And they would have to do it. And they could go to companies because they were rich and they had influence. And they said, look, we need you to help here. And they did it. But what I believe has happened is that over the last 100 years, which social work is only, a little over 100 years old professionally, over the last 100 years, we've maintained this idea that we've got to ask and we've got to beg, but we haven't been rich in the process. We haven't kept up our wealthy roots, as it were, right? We have not maintained our rich standard of life or rich standard of living. And instead, we've traded it for feelings of guilt about being better off or being financially wealthier than our clients. We've traded that for feelings of shame if we do happen to make lots and lots of money. We've traded that. And that's something that I believe each social worker has to work out for themselves. And each social worker has to decide for themselves, is this working for them? And is this the best way to serve their families? And is this the best way to serve their clients? And for me, the answer is a resounding no. Again, living in Jamaica is a developing country, and people ask me for things all the time. They ask me for help. They ask me to speak. They ask me if I know any jobs. They ask to volunteer. But the number one deciding factor on whether or not I can help them is if I have the resources that I need. Do I have money myself? And if what happened early for me was the answer was always no. And I got sick and tired of always being too broke to help my social workers. I couldn't stand it. And so I decided that I was going to change and I was going to do something different. And that's when the rich social worker was developed. So let's look at the next frequently asked question, which is, why aren't there more rich social workers? Now, again, that goes back to what I was just talking about in terms of, I believe that there are plenty of rich social workers, but because we maybe aren't used to talking about wealth or not used to hearing about the social workers that are wealthy, we don't know about them. We don't know who they are. But what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm putting together now a list of, I think it's 30 social workers who are making money online and doing it really well. So you'll be able to see, hear, taste, touch, smell other social workers. Smell, maybe not smell them, but you'll be able to meet other social workers who are doing things just like you are, same training as you, same passion as you, but they've figured out a way to make money with their social work skills, and they're doing big things online. All right. So there are rich social workers. I think there will be more in the next 5 years, because we're going to really be pushing Rich Social Worker and eva4.com, and really just trying to indoctrinate as many social workers as possible with this new kind of approach to our own wealth and our own value, so that more and more social workers can say, hey, I may not be rich today, but I'm on the path to creating more wealth and to helping more people. So hopefully in a few years you will know rich social workers, and hopefully you'll be one yourself. Wouldn't that be great? So let's look at some more frequently asked questions. And like I said, if you have any questions for me, feel free to email me at eva@eva4.com, or you can send me a message on Facebook, or you can text me here in the Hangouts. So, another question is, what do rich social workers do? Now, people always want to know, how is it possible? How can a social worker really be rich? Are they working in government? And some are, yes. Are they, did they have some big contract? And some rich social workers, yes. Did they invest well? And some rich social workers, yes. But nowadays, we're in 2015. We've got the internet, we've got social media, we've got blogging, we've got so many great resources, we've got online learning. And so the trend is, and it's been trending for the last several years now, is to use the skills that you already have and leverage them. Now, this also kind of goes along with the second question, which is, how could I start on a rich social work journey? So when I speak about leveraging, what we mean when we say leverage is to, like I said, use less energy to make more money, to make more of an impact. If you know anything about a lever, let's say you're moving something, and instead of lifting one box at a time, you could use a lever and lift four boxes at one time, right? So that way you save time, because instead of doing one, you're doing four at a time, right? So you save time, you save energy, because instead of using your own physical energy, you just pull that lever, push the lever, right? So the same principle applies when we're talking about becoming a rich social worker. We use the skills that you already have. Hey, are you good at fundraising? Or are you good at leadership development? Or are you really good at knowing how to calm down crisis situations? I know we're all trained in that, but maybe you're an expert. Maybe you're an expert in group dynamics. Maybe you have expertise in something that is seemingly not social work related, like, let's say, knitting, or something like photography. So maybe those things don't necessarily seem to be related to social work, but they absolutely are, because the thing is, once you have your social work training, you've got skills to be able to touch people's lives. You've got communication skills, you've got your leadership skills, you've got your analytical and critical thinking skills. You've got all of these amazing skills, problem solving skills. It's amazing. I mean, I think I really get excited when I talk about social work, because I just think it's such an amazing platform to do anything from. It just teaches you how to be a great human being and how to help other people. And so, what you would do as a rich social worker is what you already do well. You would just leverage what you already do well. Now, let me give you an example from my own journey. One of the things that people said I did well, when I polled all of my friends, I'm sorry, I did that on accident. When I polled my friends and asked them, hey, what's something that, when you think of me, what is something that you think of or think that I do well? And overwhelmingly, the majority of people that know me or my friends said, you are encouraging, you're motivational, you're inspiring. And that was something that I was, kind of surprised to hear so overwhelmingly about. I thought it would be more kind of technical something like, oh, maybe you're 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 good at calming down a rough situation, or you helped me solve a problem or something. But people were really, um, really excited to share with me how I had motivated them or helped them. And so what I do now is, because money was something that I was struggling with and what I wanted to learn more about, I decided to use my motivational skills and inspirational skills to leverage making more money. And so what I do with Rich Social Work is, I bring inspirational information. I teach. Hey, this webinar right now, it's free. Hopefully, you're getting some inspiration and some motivation and understanding, getting a better sense of maybe how the Rich Social Work journey could apply to you and how you could start your own Rich Social Work journey. But the other thing I do is I use it in my coaching. So I coach other social workers to use their skills as well. Now, when I coach, I get paid money. And when I'm paid money, I'm not only paid just to motivate, but I'm also paid to educate and to make sure that my clients get the results that they need. I help them start their businesses. And it's human nature. We get kind of complacent, or we get overwhelmed on these journeys. If you're on a journey to lose weight, at the beginning of the year, you might be really excited. And then a week or two in, you fall off. But I've really been able to use my skills that, in my 6-month program, all of my social workers, they remain engaged. They remain upbeat. They remain, I'm able to kind of sense when things might be troubling them. I'm able to stay engaged with them, able to keep them on their path. And for that, they are able to see results because I stay supportive of them and I stay encouraging. Like I said, I use my social work skills. I also use my natural skills to leverage and make sure that they're happy with the service and they're happy with what they're growing and what they're doing. And I get to be excited and happy as well because I know that I'm helping people. I know that I'm making a difference in people's lives. And it's really such a blessing. So what do rich social workers do? Rich social workers do whatever it is that you're good at. You do whatever it is that you're good at, and you just leverage that. You just leverage the hell out of whatever you're good at, and you make money from it. Now, let me give you another example. I wrote a book called How Not to Practice Social Work. Now, a lot of people have told me that yes, that book is inspirational, it's motivational, but it's also practical. And every time someone downloads that book or buys that book, I get royalties from them. Now, that is another way I've been able to leverage my influence and my inspiration and my motivation and education. So you can do the same thing instead of having to, give the information to one person over and over and over. I put it in a book, and instead, I get paid every time it's downloaded over and over and over and over and over. All right. So now, to answer the question, how you could start your rich social work journey, I'm going to give you at the end of this webinar, I am going to post a link on the Eva Ford business page, Eva Ford coaching business page. I'm going to post a link to a new download that I have called The Rich Social Worker's Secrets of Success. And that's going to give you a really great framework of where to start when it comes to your social work journey, your rich social work journey. It's a great little book. It's short. It's an easy read, very insightful. And if you're just new to thinking about how to create wealth for yourself as a social worker, this is a great place to start. So like I said, I'm going to post it online and you're going to be able to check it out for yourself. Okay. So start there, share it with your friends, and get more people on board. All right. Another question. How does becoming a rich social worker help you to have more freedom? Well, just think about it. Listen, as I told you, as many of you know, I live in Jamaica. However, my family, some significant members of my family anyway, my dad, my my mom, my brother, my sister-in-law, my niece, a nephew, tons of family that I was raised with because I was raised in Alabama. They live here in Alabama. My best friends, right here in the South. And for the last 9 weeks, as a matter of fact, I believe this is week 10. For the last 10 weeks, I've been able to be in Alabama, not in Jamaica, because I have the freedom to. I've been able to travel. I can set up my days the way I want them to. I can set up my life pretty much the way I want to because of this more freedom that I have. The other thing, I've been able to help out my parents financially because I know that I have money coming in at different times during the month that it's not a salary from someone. It is work that I've put in, like I said, leveraging my social work skills. And, I know that because I have a book on Amazon, that every month I'm going to be getting deposits in my account from Amazon. I know that because I have different coaching clients, every month I'm going to get deposits from my clients. I know that, because I have other irons in the fire, as it were, that I'm going to be reaping the financial rewards of those in the future. So it may not happen today, but tomorrow, or maybe not tomorrow, but before the end of the month. So being a rich social worker allows you to have more of the freedom that you want. And like I said, for me, it's all about giving. I want to be able to give of my time. I want to be able to give of myself. I want to be able to give money. And I'm able to do that um, on this rich social work journey. So it's been wonderful for me. It's really a great experience. And the last question of the evening is, how does becoming a rich social worker help me to help more people? And I've kind of already answered this, right? So, hey, the more money you make, the more people you can help. And if you're anything like me, that idea of making more money or being rich kind of, as a social worker feels dirty almost. Um, and I really had to develop more of a wealthy mindset to disassociate being wealthy from being good or being bad in some way. And the great thing about it is I'm able, like I said, to help more people. I've been able to help my parents out. I've been able to help my daughter out. She's in college. I've been able to, when I'm here in Alabama seeing my godchildren, I've been able to take them out and, just spend time with them and really enjoy them. And, you know, um, as the president of the association, when I do go back to Jamaica in a week, I'll be able to put more energy and effort into working with the association because of this wealthy journey. So it's been really great, as I said, and becoming a rich social worker will give you more time, more money, to have more freedom to help as many people as you like. I'm sure, like I said, there's clients or causes that you like to help, but you can't afford to help as many people as you like to now, but you will be able to as you make more money. You'll be able to make smarter investments. You'll be able to use your time more efficiently and effectively. You'll be able to even hire individualized help to help you if you like, which frees up your time and allows you to make more money. So I'm really excited for you to start your rich social work journey if you haven't already. Now, keep in mind, like I said, I'm going to be posting the link to the free download, the new free download called Rich Social Worker Secrets of Success. I'm going to be posting that link on the Eva Ford Business Coaching page, also on the events page here for Rich Social Workers. And feel free to download it if you'd like. And if you're already on the mailing list, I'll be mailing it out as well. So you should have plenty of opportunities to get access to this new download. Now, I'm just going to check. I'm sharing the screen right now, but I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to check. Oh, sorry about that. I'm going to check to see if anyone has any questions or comments that they've listed. Now, I don't see any questions or comments as it is, but like I said, if you do have any, excuse me, that you would like for me to answer, you can email me anytime, Eva at evaford.com. That's EVA at the symbol at EVAFORDE.com. You can post it to the Facebook group, on the events page or the Facebook group page, or you can uh, put it on my, you can, what did I say? Email me, Facebook group, put it on my business page. Okay, so I want to thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate it. And let me know if you got any value um, out of this webinar today. As you know, we're doing it uh, every Wednesday. Although several people, well, a few people, the people that have taken the poll on the events page for Facebook, have said that they would prefer a Sunday. So we may end up moving this to Sunday. We will see. Not sure just yet, but we'll see if Sunday works for people. It looks like that may be the day. Still not sure about the time, but that may be the day. So, okay, everybody, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you being here and for your participation. And look out for that free download. I'll see you again next week, everybody. Thanks. Bye.